Okay, so now let's talk about our UDIM workflow. It's a very simple workflow. We only use two words, UDIM store here and UDIM merge down here. So let me zoom in a little bit more. And I have a clean scene. So if I take out my debugger here and then import my mesh, you'll see in a second that it's our MG42 machine gun, but this time I've separated the mesh by groups, so I don't have to use IDs and I can address each part with the select word. So now let me explain you the basis for the UDIM workflow. If you have baked a mesh with a separate with the mesh separated in parts, it's very similar to the actual UDIM workflow. So for example, we can see here that we have a single mesh with a single UV tile, but it's separated in many parts. So if we were to bake here, let me show you, I've already baked it. So let me show you here in my map. We can see that I have around, let me see how many files, 70 files. So all these generated about 70 files, and if I show you the preview, it's just the mesh, the UVs, and each image has a part of the whole thing. So when we are going to do the rendering, the final rendering, we will have to assemble this. And this is where the UDIM workflow comes in. So if we think about it, all these meshes belong to the same tile. So it will be very simple to just apply a label for all the meshes that are in the same tile, and then finally after we render them we can just merge them automatically. And this is what the UDIM store word does. So let me just comment this because I don't want to re-import things, and just run it, and we can see that now it's added 1001 to everything that I have here. So if this mesh had the UV on the 102 UDIM tile, then it would have the 102. Same as if I were to have more meshes and each mesh has a different type of transform in the UV. Now this is very important because Blender doesn't let you apply materials to things that are in greater than 0 to 1 UV space. So what this does is just mark the mesh with the tile and then move the UV to the 0 to 1 space so that we can just work normally. So this doesn't really work for painting over UDIM tiles, but it's a temporary solution for the UDIM workflow. So now let me move here in my view, in my shaded view, and let me comment again this, and I just use the bake same, which just generated this folder here, and this took a little bit longer since it's baking a lot more parts. Took around 10 minutes to bake the whole thing, but after it's done I just applied a material here, and it's just a simple material, and then I'm going to bake it all. So I'll run it and then I'll come back to you when it's done. Okay, now it's done baking. It took around 2 minutes. So let me show you the results. I have my folder here out, and we can see that it's around 60 images. And if I show you in the catalog view of my image viewer, we can see it's pretty much the same. All the normals are just blue, and it's as if we were to have to merge everything. So we can do this with the word, let me show you here, UDIM merge, and all the parameters you have to pass is the path and then the % channel for the channel name and the % UDIM for the tile name. So these are obligatory. You could also put a name here like MG42, and then let me just extend my comment here, and I will be running this, and it's running. but it's single threaded because it uses image magic. So it should take around a minute. So I'll be back when it's done. And now we're done. So let me show you the results. It's now made a folder named final, and inside the folder we have ng42 underscore diffuse and the UDIM tile name. If I show you this, you can see that it's taken all the images in the previous folder and merged it into the correct tile. So if I were to have more tiles, it would have merged them properly. So you don't have to really worry too much about that. So this is pretty much everything for the UDIM workflow. I think I will be adding stuff and features to it in the future, but overall it does what it needs to do, and it does it in a very simple way, just 2 words. So that's pretty much it for now. I'll see you in the next tutorial.